Do you want to do a podcast? We make a darn good team. It always goes without a hitch. Let's head to Twitch and go start up the stream. Do you want to do a podcast? It's the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Let's start now. Hi everyone and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Come?
All right, I'll do my own bits myself.
Oh wait, no silence.
We're doing it. Get off the road.
Hey Dave,
Hey, Boater.
what is Mario's favorite musical?
Oh, I actually know this one because
Yes.
I'm a diehard Mario fan. So I happen to know that it is Aria of the Wild. All right.
I think that's up there, but his actual favorite is Mamma Mia.
Damn it. Damn it. It was right there. And I couldn't reach it.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. I'm Boater.
I'm Dave, man.
And we're back on the bullshit again. Hey, everybody, welcome. I almost just did the full intro again, just on autopilot. That's the kind of day I'm having. How's everyone doing out there? I hope everyone's having a good time. We've got an exciting day ahead of us here with plenty to talk about with what we're playing, what we're watching and doing. We've got plenty of news. I have a relevant meme. It's just going to be a good time. And thank you, I Love Hello Kitty, for the 9 months in a row subscription. Thank you for the resubscription. That's awesome.
Enjoy the mic emote and all the good that can come from it. One of these days, we are going to set it up when that bar comes out of that side and interrupts you. You have to be talking and be like,
Yeah, if I get it like in real time, I just go, boom. Ah, Jesus, thank you. Okay, let's start with the Twitch ban. Needs more emotes. We're getting there. We're getting there.
The next one that was lined up was supposed to be the Dan face, and we voted on it, and we looked at it. So make sure to come onto the streams and say, we want Dan emote.
Yep.
And hell, you know what? We want a Steve emote. We want a Steve
emote. So that we can post it along with it. It's just text in a word bubble that says Steve's fault.
I'll take that.
I'd use it a lot. All right, Twitch ban. This past week, banned from Twitch was Atrioc. There was not a specific reason given. He did not say, "Oh, this is what Twitch told me," whatever. However, the speculation is that during there's a clip going around of him on a Just Chatting stream, hanging out with people, browsing through Wikipedia, and doing the whole like, "Haha, this is an adult topic. I'm gonna read things in a way that Wikipedia states it, so it's totally safe, whatever," and not really paying attention. Of course, Wikipedia has pictures, and I guess there was a medical diagram of a limp phallus on stream. And that was enough that maybe that's what got him banned. Who knows? Maybe it was something else he said during the stream. It's at the same time, you're kind of poking the bear when you're going ahead and looking through the articles on those particular topics.
You gotta remember that you just be more careful.
It's like, if that's the reason, it's like, really? But also, I mean, like, you're poking the bear when you're looking up, Wikipedia articles on the mechanism of
educational purpose, perhaps?
Yeah. Anyway, that's who's banned on Twitch. It's not expected to be permanent. It's probably, up to a week tops. I think it's his first ban as well, so it's not going to be like a major thing, just a slap on the wrist. So that's Atrioc, Twitch ban. So that's who was banned in the last 7 days from this wonderful platform with no problems at all that we call Twitch. What have we got coming out in the next 7 days, Dave?
Normally I do one game, but the next 7 days, they're special. They're different. They're going to be full of the good stuff.
Oh yeah,
The
we're starting
great
to get
stuff.
into the season of the good stuff.
It's really getting into the feel and the vim and the vigor of there are now 6 active consoles out there currently, but 4 of them or 2 of them are named Xbox and 2 of them are named PlayStation.
Mhm.
But this is really when you get the meat of
Xbox One, Xbox Series X/S, PS4, PS5, Switch, and also PC. Does not quite a console, but it is a platform. that games
gaming
come out on.
platforms.
Yep.
Sorry, 6 major gaming platforms out there. So 2 games are coming out, and now that I've oversold that, this Friday, a return to days of yore, a comeback of the ages, a game that if it doesn't sell well, you can still relive the memories. All of the sets around here have some wonderful tributes to our childhoods. Thank you very much to our friends Steve and Brandon from One Man's Trash, only on Insane Games TV YouTube, who got us these during one of their many, many hunts. But on the 30th comes out Hot Wheels Unleashed on Windows, Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X/S. But Boater,
That's gonna be so much fun.
it
I
really
can't wait. It looks so good. Like because the last actual Hot Wheels game was like PS1 era.
there's some PS2 Hot Wheels games.
Okay,
Well,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
Maybe the last one that appealed to you or caught your eye, because that would speak to
It's been a
like-
long time, and like I look at this, and they look really good. Like the graphics look really crisp. I hate to be the guy that's like, "Oh, those graphics look good," but they do. They look
but it's a
great.
racing game.
But like the mechanics from all the previews and such that I've heard is that the mechanics are really sharp, really snappy, like great like drift mechanic. It's arcade racer while still having some decent heft to them.
Yes.
The environments look great. You know, they're using the Hot Wheels track scaled up because an actual Hot Wheels, orange track or blue track is 1 car wide. But scaled up so you can have 4 or 5 wide on there. But there's still, you look in the background and it's a bedroom and everything like that.
I'm very excited for this one also because the classic cars from the days of yore,
Oh yeah.
they did 1-to-1 reproductions of them. It wasn't just a reskin and they stretched it over the car's design. No, they took the time, and because they took the time for that detail, they also mentioned that the tracks are going to have some details in them that they haven't mentioned.
Well,
and
like
some
when
other
they
things.
did like Twin Mill, for instance, they didn't make it how Twin Mill looks scaled up to car size and then shrunk it back down. They did everything like the paint peel looks correct. I did a macro shot recently of a Hot Wheels scale car, actually by Tarmac Works, and making it look like a life-size vehicle, but like the paint texture is so much rougher at that scale, and it's gonna look more like that. Stuff that you don't realize till you get in super close. The way that the wheels like rattle around on the axles, just a
And
ton
they
of fun
do.
stuff. Yeah.
So that one's coming out. I know myself and a couple of the people are going to be buying it on Switch. It is not cross-platform.
It is cross-platform within the same family, so PS4 and
Yes.
PS5,
Yes.
Xbox One, Xbox Series X. But if you get it on Switch and I get it on Xbox, we will not be able to directly play with each other. But it does have local co-op. Sorry, it does have local split-screen multiplayer, which is a perfect kind of game for it.
And now that you can, and
Mhm.
you should, and you do.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. And I know there is Steve here on the network is also very much looking forward to it.
We're potentially looking at just Hot Wheels week next week.
It's gonna be good times. The other game
I'll
that's
challenge Dan to some Hot Wheels Unleashed. Because okay, I was gonna wait, but apparently,
you brought it up, and now
apparently
what's...
yesterday and behind the counter, Dan dropped the gauntlet.
Oh.
By I guess they were talking about go-karting and potentially like some of us on the channel going go-karting, and he's like, you know who I'd target, you know who I'd go after first is I'd get right in there, I'd spin him out, he'd get so mad because he'd take it so seriously, and Mike's like, it's Boater, right? It's like, yeah, it's Boater, and it's like, okay, first off, when you say you'd come at me, in a go-kart race, and then your idea is to spin me out rather than actually race, that's a little telling. That you can't actually race on your own, so you're just gonna knock me off the track.
How are you overthinking this? How are you overthinking
Second off, you're gonna
this?
spin me out? Bullshit! I'll make it so you spend more time looking backwards than forwards.
Okay, all right.
I
there's
accept
some
the
meat.
challenge.
There's some meat on that bone. Finally, the nerd gets to the nitty gritties. So, when's the date? What track are we doing? Have you had any experience with karting?
Well, I haven't seen him in person since then, so Dan, I throw it back to you. Yes, I accept your challenge for go-karting. You know, there's a couple of tracks up near where we are. Grab someone with a camera phone and let's make it happen. And then, I don't know, maybe we'll also throw down in Hot Wheels Unleashed, and then you can feel better after I've whipped you in both of those by beating me in NASCAR Heat. How's that sound like a fun Sunday or something?
You have. All right, so you accepted the challenge, and then you just wrote a check for more
that I possibly can't cash.
that you definitely can't cash. The
No,
nerd glasses are offer on challenges to Dan. Offer, okay? I lost the Call of Duty challenge to Dan, and you definitely lost that debate. All right, you definitely lost it. So we're offer against Dan. I would be very careful that the chief don't come down here and rain hell. All right? So you leave me out of this. I already lost my privileges to talk about.
I didn't pull you into it. I said Hot Wheels. I mean, on Citadel, you can face me on Hot Wheels Unleashed.
Oh, we're playing Hot Wheels Unleashed. We'll get Mike a copy.
Oh yeah.
These things. It'll be
We'll
good.
do something.
It'll be good. Let's see. Demon
Gotta get
Dragon.
on it before the tracks close for the winter. Then should have to go to Japan and dress up as the characters from Mario Kart and do it in the middle of Tokyo.
I want in on that. If we're doing that, I'm in.
I mean, yeah,
Like-
we got
Like
trip to Tokyo, buddy. I want in. I mean, hell, I'd take up dressing up like Mario and just bombing around downtown Glens Falls. No, go around Saratoga through Congress Park.
How much are pedal carts? Chat, can you look that up for us? Pedal carts that adults fit. I'll chaperone that trip. This is gonna be good times. Good times to see how Dan responds to that one.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, we were talking about games coming out. Hot Wheels Unleashed.
So, Hot Wheels Unleashed this Friday. Boater getting his ass whipped at go-karting sometime in the future, but October 5th. All right,
That's no
a
funny.
game that is very near and dear to my heart. And I am very excited for. It'll be available for the first time on PlayStation at all. The Alan Wake Remaster is going to be coming out for PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One X, and Series S, and Windows as well. It's going to have all the DLCs. It is going to have the original soundtrack, which, if you remember, hearing me talk on past programs, the licensing kind of went up on that, and
Are
Remedy
they
was a little
getting
bit-
the entirety of the soundtrack?
Yes.
Dang.
Every single track, all the original artists. Poets of the
Nice.
Fall will be back as Old Gods of Asgard. They did, however, have to remove the product placements for Duracell and Nokia that were
Energizer, yeah.
extremely prevalent in the game because apparently they just didn't want to re-up, I guess.
Yeah, it was Energizer. It's also like the 2000s, the 20 aughts were a lot heavier on product placement in non-racing games. In racing games, you still see it. It's easy to like throw up billboards on the track and whatever. But like, I still like going back and playing the original Need for Speed Most Wanted, where there is a singular wireless logo whenever anyone's calling you in the car.
Yipes.
It was a different time.
'Tis true. But starting October 5th, Alan Wake Remaster, I highly recommend it. It was a game that I dedicated a lot of time to. I beat it in its entirety on every difficulty, collected all the pages of the story. It is going to be in 4K where available, and I am so excited for that game and cannot say enough good things about it. For those of you that don't have, here's a general brushstroke for Alan Wake. It is a third-person shooter, explorer. And it's basically if you were living inside of a Stephen King novel, an early
Yeah.
Stephen King novel.
You play as a Stephen King style horror author,
Alan Wake.
um, in a quaint little town in Maine or wherever. Yeah, kind of. And I didn't. We played it a little bit, and I hadn't played since then. But kind of, the more he's there, the more like these horror tropes that he's very familiar with, but unable to stop interacting with because of who he is.
Yes.
Really, really cool.
I'm very excited. As you can see, my deluxe edition of Alan Wake adorning the past copies. And I am very excited for that. Cannot wait for it, and will greatly look forward to. If it's Stephen King, it's always in Maine. What's going on, Love Alec? And Demon
Welcome.
Dragon, welcome, by the way. Will you be finishing Death Stranding before the 5th? That rolls into our next topic
Yeah.
of what have we been playing recently.
Yeah, because we've been consuming a lot of media recently that is kind of worth taking a few minutes and chatting about.
Last week, we talked about it, and we're very sorry that we didn't get to it. We've scheduled it into the program. We're going to go really in-depth into Death Stranding this week, talk about all the characters, the inclusion of Guillermo del Toro's character, Higgs... I was going to try to roll that whole thing. But Higgs and Sam Porter Bridges and the journey they're having. But broad strokes right now, just because that's what I've been playing and
Yeah.
I've been consumed by. And I'm going to be...
We'll talk more about that later, but give us a teaser. What is your favorite part of the game in its, director's cut version that wasn't in the original release or has been improved from it?
The haptic feedback with the controller.
Nice.
Oh my God. With the way that, for those of you who don't know, it's a game about transporting cargo from place to place and moving things and connecting people. And because the DualShock 5s have these feedbacks and things, you really feel every step, every turn, every rumble, and it goes and goes. It's probably going to age my controller very poorly, but I am actually, if you see me streaming, I'm probably going to be streaming that game so that I finally finish the campaign of it. I'm going to be making a push to finish that before the 5th.
Okay.
Okay. Because I do want to finally know, first of all, how that ends, and then be able to putz around and do deliveries on my own.
Did you never finish the game in original?
I did not. And the last thing we will say on it is that I didn't finish it in original because it's a game where people are solitary. There's a lot of commentary. There's a lot of commentary on people being alone and not being able to reconnect with the world around them as it opens back up and all these things. There's also an extremely heavy-handed side plot about distrust in government and things like that. And the year that it came out, it was very, very hot button at the time.
Yeah.
And some of my community, while I was streaming it, said that they were feeling kind of bummed out.
Yeah.
And so I stopped, and then I heard there was a director's cut coming. But we'll talk more about the director's cut later. But Boder, what have you been consuming lately?
Oh, there's a lot. We're gonna say, so I started playing Horizon Zero Dawn on Brunch with Boder. And I posted just like a quick image that I made on Friday to be like, hey, I'm going to be playing this. It's been requested by a couple community members. And people came out of the woodwork like, oh my God, you were going to love that game. That's my favorite game. I love that game so much. That game is so gorgeous. I'm surprised you haven't played it. You're going to have a great time. Just everything like that. I was surprised by how many people came out and said, hey, this is going to be great. And sure enough, I started playing it on Sunday.
And it was terrible, right?
And it was
awful?
It was
the worst?
amazing.
Oh.
It was a 2-hour stream. Granted, I had things I needed to edit that afternoon, so I wasn't too much like, oh, I got to rip myself away. But I can tell in the future that I'm going to have to, like, make Brunch with Boder a 4-hour program or something just so I feel like I get a decent amount of time in with it. It was a lot of fun. Like, it has that open world thing that Ubisoft does, but it doesn't. I got the complete edition, and when you get a game like that, like a Ubisoft Assassin's Creed game that's the complete edition, you get, like, all the side quests, all the optional DLC side quests just at once. So when you finally open up the big map and there's just a ton of stuff, it's overwhelming and hard to get through. And I haven't gotten to that point in Horizon yet. So we'll see if it does. I'm still not exactly out of the starting area because I'm taking my time with side quests, but it's been super fun. And here's one more person saying it's probably going to be a struggle to tear yourself away from the game. I've heard so many good things and watch Itachi Blaine play. Yeah, it's gorgeous, and we're just having a great time, me and the community, just kind of talking about stuff and how it relates to other games and so forth. So
And now you get to feel my pain of trying to fit these immense single player, great experiential games. God of War. Oh my God, all of them just came flooded front to my head. Death Stranding.
well, and so like
And many other titles.
Mad Max, for instance, is one that is one of these big whatever. The saving grace is that unlike with the Citadel, where I have 2 or 3 games on rotation, I'm gonna play Horizon every single week on Brunch with Boater. Every Sunday morning, I'm just going back to it. So, it took me half a year to get through Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. It took me half a year, and it's like, yeah, that's probably what this might take, but that's fine. It'll be a great time the entire way. So that's one thing I've been doing. A really quick side note: the past year and 3 months, I've been playing a Dungeons and Dragons campaign of The Curse of Strahd that my sister Rafe Wolf has been running, and that finished yesterday. And that was something like that depends a lot on who the DM is and exactly what's happening, and it's different each time you play. Particularly that um particularly that game with the fortune telling aspects ends up being different every time that it's played. But just it was a really great time. That's the campaign we're currently in. Oh, how many times have you guys died? We have a party of 5, and we had 1 death the entire time. It was me. I came back. I got better. I was corrupted.
I got better.
I was corrupted by an evil god when I came back, but I got better from that too. I was a paladin who ended up realizing that his powers weren't being bestowed by my own god, who couldn't reach into the plane. It was by that captive evil god over there. There was a quandary to be had. It was a really good time. If you want to ask me more specifics about the campaign and stuff like that, pop into the Citadel after this. I'm happy to go through that, but I don't want to take up too much time. Did that. I mentioned last week the Star Wars Visions came out last week.
Yes.
Steph and I binge watched that Friday night. It is 9 individual anime short films. No deaths yet, but 2 party and 1 NPC ended up aged 30 years by a ghost. Amazing. Alec, I love it.
Insane Games in the Wilton Mall, how may I help you?
Hello, we're trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
Wow, they really were trying to get me to say yes.
Huh.
You know what I mean? Those telemarketers?
Yeah.
That ask only a question that you can only answer affirmative or in the negative. Super clever. Not going to beat Nerd Glasses, though.
Nope. So it's 9 short films, and as I expected, there were a couple that I loved, there were a couple that I hated, and then there was the rest. I will go through my quick ranking of them, and again, you can ask me more details on the Citadel, but watch even if you aren't an anime fan. The Ninth Jedi, far and away the best one of the whole thing. It felt like a pilot series to its own animated series. There's a sequel hook that I really want to get more of. It's a great time. The Duel, really stylized, gorgeous, like mostly black and white, blends feudal Japan imagery in with Star Wars. Perfect. And then I'll just keep going down. May as well watch as long as you have it open and you're going through the series. The Village Bride, Tatooine Rhapsody, The Elder, Lop and Ocho. You can skip these if you don't necessarily want to watch all of them at one point. TOB1, Akakiri, and then skip, for the love of God, The Twins. Which is weird, because I looked at other people's rankings, and they go all over the place, but the one that I considered to be the worst, the one that was all flash, no substance, some people are rating like 3rd or 4th, and I'm like, how?
A lot of people, they like the sizzle, but they can't handle the steak.
The same studio that did Kill la Kill, and it felt like they were going for that substance and the very over-the-top everything without knowing why it worked for Kill la Kill, but it was the same studio, so okay. And the last one that I'll mention is Cowboy Bebop. last week they released the intro for the live action Cowboy Bebop at a Netflix event called Tudum, because that's the sound that their thing makes, I guess. That's the sound their logo makes. Um, and we watched that actually before. Well, the live action thing came out. Steph and I are like, "Oh, that comes out in November. We should start catching up." So we watched like 8 episodes of Cowboy Bebop Sunday night. So I've seen the series before, but it's rewatch time because it's been 8 years or something. That I guess now we'll kind of start to move on to stuff that's happened. So that intro, what were your thoughts on it? For
Oh my god, I was so excited by it. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to undercut you.
no, it's fine.
But oh my god, I am so hyped. The characters look like living versions of the characters that were written in.
The characters look amazing. Like I didn't realize it the first time I was watching, but like afterwards I'm realizing that like, oh, they're showing some of these classic antagonists that come up in like single episodes show up in that intro. They look great. Everyone looks amazing. My biggest gripe with it is that like one thing that's really iconic with the classic Cowboy Bebop intro, and this is patterned exactly after that. Like it could almost be shot for shot, although they clearly added a lot of stuff
Yeah, they
to
made
like
they
live
made
action
the
as
live
well.
action running look like it was the animated running.
Yeah, so like
Like-
the running was my biggest gripe because like the animation in Cowboy Bebop is very stylized. It's very
Fluid, there's
it
a lot of
well like it whips from two extremes to keyframe with not a whole lot of in betweens, but with live action it is mostly in betweens. So while it's very fluid looking, it doesn't look as cool as the animated version of
Yeah.
the running. And that's like a nitpick almost compared to everything else. Everything else looked amazing. I cannot wait for that show.
You know what I realized that the show might be doing, because it's something you and I did discuss. And stick tuned, because coming up, why can't you get a flurry? And what's the Federal Trade Commission doing about it?
Oh boy.
Nintendo Online getting some expansions. EU versus Apple, and Steve Ditko's fighting for Spider-Man.
Oh boy.
But in the intro, you'll notice that they didn't include Demon Dragon said it. Edward wasn't in the intro. And I thought about that. And I thought about the thing that we kind of like riffed about, but then I thought more about this is a chance for them to introduce Ed in such a different way. Because the first episode, Ed wasn't in the first couple episodes.
Ed doesn't come in until episode 8.
Exactly.
And we were surprised too by how late she comes in.
So, but she's in the intro from the beginning. Like, so this was a chance for Ed's character. If you remember, it was somebody that was hacking their ship and messing with them.
Yeah.
There. And so you know, for intended purposes, thought that Ed was a big bad.
Yeah.
And things like that. And I really hope the fact that they don't have Ed in this teaser or intro, they're going to play on that, and they're going to make Ed. They're going to show a different facet of Ed's character.
They've said that this isn't a one-to-one recreation of the anime. Like, obviously, they're going to hit a lot of the same episode beats as far as, like, story, whatever, but they're probably going to do them very differently
Yeah.
so that if you're a fan of the show, you don't necessarily know what's going to happen in this one. And so Ed's presence could just be an extension of that, where, like, they could play her very differently.
Are they going to do the mushroom episode?
I
'Cause
have not
for
gotten that far in my rewatch.
For intended purposes, that episode was a filler. There was no plot advancement for anybody, except to impact the fact that they are poor and hungry.
They may actually. So when the anime came out, each of those episodes can stand alone. They do eventually build up. There's continuity between them.
Yes, true.
But they mostly stand alone, and I wonder if we're going to see something a little more arc-y, because that's what television does now, is that it tells a long story over the course of 6 episodes, 8 episodes, 12, however many this is going to be, I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be like 12-hour long episodes. I don't know if they're going to stick with a half an hour and 24 like the anime. I don't know those details. They may be out there, but Like, so we may see more of that like overarching kind of plot thing too. So they may be teasing Ed for episodes in advance to her actually showing up.
Demon Dragon. They still haven't found someone who could do the noodle arms.
Yeah, no, not at all. My shoulder just got very mad at me.
I was gonna say, is it? And you're gonna
Shut
race
up!
carts like that? Oh,
What? I don't need. I didn't say I'd do it with this arm behind my back.
you heard it here first.
I did
One arm behind
not.
his back. Chat,
Okay.
react. What do you guys think about it? But as we do that,
Why don't you take one? I've talked a lot. I've led a lot. Go ahead and take something.
I'm super excited because Nintendo did a direct,
Yep.
a release talking about a lot of things, but we're going to pick and choose through what we're going to talk about because they announced that Nintendo Online in October is going to be expanding and they are going to be adding Sega Genesis games. I know,
Oh,
guys.
man.
Get really excited. This is what I'm really excited about. This is what really the big news is they're adding N64 games to Nintendo
Yes,
Online.
yes, yes. As well as re-releasing the N64 controller in a way that like will work with the Switch.
So for $64.99, you can get an N64 controller for your Switch and a Sega Genesis controller.
Nice.
I would like to have those, although to be totally honest, I didn't have a Nintendo 64 and I didn't have a Genesis growing up. I had a Sega Game Gear.
I
so
had
I
access
played-
to someone that had a Genesis growing up. Yeah, I didn't have an N64, but my impression of the controller is shaped by the TV ad for Star Wars Racer that shows a spaceship going by in the shape of an N64 controller with the analog stick coming out of it. I'm like, that's so cool, and so I like the controller. I had both. Demon Dragon showing off.
You know what? Do we just wanna look into potentially just going halvesies and getting them for set pieces and then using them because we both have Switches.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then we could do a tech review.
There
Hey,
we
how
go.
do they work? We'll talk about it. We'll talk
We'll
about it later.
we'll-
Is that
we'll
something
hash
you
that out.
guys would want? Is that something we could do? Let us know in chat. We would love to. Oh, you had what I didn't have, and I had what you didn't have. LOL says I love Little Kitty.
Also during the Nintendo Direct, there's a meme that was posted in response to something. Over here we have a group of girls that are labeled random internet users just trying to be comedic. Over here,
Do you want me to bring it to the camera?
no, because I don't want it backlit. Over here we have a girl labeled Apollo holding a kickball labeled The Gift of Prophecy. Tweeted on May 21st, 2020, I'm calling it now, the Mario Brothers movie will not have Charles Martinet play Mario for no reason and cast someone like Chris Pratt. So they announced the cast. They announced the cast of the Super Mario movie coming out.
Oh, cool. Who's playing Mario?
Chris Pratt.
Oh. How fortuitous of people to have called this. And how great that the voice actor for Mario for so many years is still alive and could... Actually, he doesn't look anything like Mario, and he would not be able to keep up with the movie thing, so...
Well, it's voice acting. It's an animated movie. And we'll get to that in a sec. Here's the whole cast. Mario, as they announced at the Direct.
Okay.
Mario, Chris Pratt. Peach, Anna Taylor-Joy. I don't recognize the name, unfortunately. Luigi, Charlie Day.
I like Charlie Day. I'm a huge fan of Charlie Day. But keep going.
Bowser, Jack Black.
Okay.
Keep in mind that this movie is being produced by Illumination, the studio behind Minions. And then this voice cast makes a lot more sense.
You know what, Boater?
Donkey Kong is Seth Rogen. Cranky Kong is Fred Armisen.
Okay. All right.
Toad is Keegan-Michael Key.
Okay.
Kamek is Kevin Michael Richardson. And Spike is Sebastian Maniscalco. I had to take a second for the last name.
I'm sorry. Who's playing Mario one more time?
Chris Pratt.
And who's playing
My
Bowser?
least favorite of the Hollywood Chris's currently.
And who's playing Bowser?
Jack Black.
All right. Well, good night, folks. We're out of here.
But Dave, Charles Martinet is in the movie.
Really?
Yeah, he's gonna have some cameo. That they haven't announced who or how much.
So, what? So, okay.
Voice acting is a profession where there are professional voice actors. And I get annoyed at what ends up being stunt casting for these kinds of things. Now, to some extent, sure. I mean, it's been a thing ever since Robin Williams and Aladdin, if not before. And yes, Chris Pratt has done voice acting in the Lego Movie, where he basically played Chris Pratt. He played a Chris Pratt character. It's... But then again, I realize that this movie is being produced by Illumination. It is not for me. It is for 7-year-olds. It is to introduce people that maybe haven't played a Mario game before to go and be like, that looks fun. And then
haven't played a Mario game. Good night.
And then for like Bug Mom to go get them, you know, whatever the latest Mario game. What the hell is the latest Mario game? Why did I just blank on that? I was about to say New Super Mario Brothers U or Wii or whatever. Good night.
It was Super Mario Odyssey.
Thank
that was
you.
The
Yes,
most recent.
yes, that was it.
So the thing I can't understand though is people are really, really mad about just Chris Pratt.
Yes.
Is it because Chris Pratt's star is perhaps doing a Dane Cook, where it's been around and in the forefront for so long that
That's the feeling that I personally have. Like I don't hate it. I don't loathe it. I don't think it's the worst thing to happen to Nintendo since the Virtual Boy. But like it's kind of really like it's the predictable we're going to have a lead man for our funny movie.
I just got to say
Merchandising. I think Charlie Day as Luigi is going to be fun. I think Jack Black as Bowser could be really fun. But it's not in the same vein that we're used to in the games. I honestly, I think that Chris Pratt as Mario is probably going to be fun. I'm not going to be interested in seeing the movie myself. I'm sure it is going to be a competent movie that makes a bunch of children laugh. And that's what they're setting out to do. Again, I hold low esteem for Illumination as a studio because I hold low esteem for Minions. But if that's what they're setting out to do, this is what gets me booted off the network. When I say I have low esteem for Minions. If this is what they're setting out to do, they're gonna accomplish it, and this cast is gonna do that for them. Jack Black Bowsette.
I will say for all these things about this film, I will say it. All right. Illumination will make it fun for the target audience for the film, and they will give Steve Carell some sort of joke in it. They will. They have to. Or I will not stand. I
think
will
it's
stand
gonna
up
be
at
fine.
the end of the film and shout.
It's interesting that everyone has decided that we're done with Chris Pratt, and there are some good reasons for it, and there are some blown out of proportions reason for it. It's interesting that this is the moment that everyone's like, "Oh, okay, you've had enough." But other than that, I think it'll be fine. What else from the Nintendo Direct? Because God, are we going over? Are we going long on some of these?
There's
unless you had more to say. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No.
Shut that down.
There was a lot in that Nintendo Direct. I'm very excited for it. And my last thing was
the Goombas will be the minions.
They will. They are. Come on, look at all the representations of them in any other format.
Right.
The comic books,
There will
Um,
be regular Goombas, and then there will be one that's just a minion in a mushroom hat.
yes, please. I'm in. But look at all the media that has been out for Mario over the years, and you tell me that
Yeah.
Goombas made intelligent choices. Um, yeah, just constantly
I haven't
messing
seen a single
around.
Goomba. Is he? Oh no, that was the one on the
But
last.
yeah, it's
It's really fun to rag on, but I'm sure the movie's going to be fine. It's just not for me.
the one of the thing I'm really jazzed about the announcement of the Nintendo Direct was Monster Hunter Rise is
Ooh.
getting more monsters, and they're only getting bigger. And they're doing the Yu-Gi-Oh thing, and I don't mind it because in Monster Hunter, that's what you got to do. You got to make them bigger, Rock. You got to come back. You got to fight with the enemies. You got to make them eat your shit. You gotta make those sweaty players who have been playing the game for 48 hours straight, getting those armor sets, and make them really eat your dust. I'm really looking forward to those new beasts, because they showed to scale.
Oh god.
Here's one of the new monsters beating on one of the monsters that was in late game. It's gonna be so good. Cannot wait for that stuff to come out. Speaking of Nintendo,
Yes.
you remember that there was a story we had, and I'll come to our sweet confectioner treats, but Super Nintendo Land in World in Japan
Yes.
had an issue, got closed, couldn't open, but a new player will be arising in Super Nintendo Land. They are going to expand the park by 70% larger, and they're adding
Seth Rogen. Wait, no,
Close.
sorry. That's Donkey Kong.
They're adding Donkey Kong, and they're going to be tributing classic relationship of Mario and Donkey Kong, and adding all of the Kong family to the various things.
That's really cool because like for at least some people, if not a lot of people, I don't have the numbers, but for a good number of people, the Donkey Kong Country games were like defined the Super Nintendo for them. Like Mario, great, but like Donkey Kong Country, yes, that's Super Nintendo. I had to think for a second. And so like seeing that, and everything that's come since then expanded out into the park, I think is going to be really cool. What? Oh boy. Back in the day. Do we? I have a segue to get there from where we are now.
Perfect.
While we're still on Nintendo, there's some stories going around that I feel the need to slightly correct. Some stories going around saying that Pokemon Mew Oreos are selling for thousands of dollars. Because if you go on eBay and you look for just Mew Oreo, and then filter by sold, you see some that sold for $100, $600, $2,000 for one cookie. The problem is you look a lot closer and you see something that says best offer accepted. Someone's like, I'll give you $10. Sure. I mean, it doesn't say how much the best
For
offer
one
was.
Oreo?
I mean, yeah, like you get down to $10 and it just says sold. It doesn't say...
Alec is not having any of this.
Excuse me, it is an Oreo. No, I totally agree that, like, yeah, I get it. Mew is rare. Mew is going to be rare in the Oreos. But I promise you right now, if I get a pack of Pokemon Oreos and I see Mew, I'm going to record a video of me holding it up to the camera, dunking it in milk, fully submerged with the fingers, pulling it out, shoving it in my mouth.
Where do we get Pokemon Oreos?
Anywhere Oreos are sold.
Okay. For next week on Nerd Glasses, we're gonna open an entire package of those damn things.
We're going to eat an entire package of Oreos throughout the show.
Boater's gonna eat an entire package of Oreos throughout the show. I have a wedding to fit in very soon.
That is true. Maybe we'll wait until the week after.
Sir, I have been very good, and I have been cutting down on my fast food, and it's killing me. And I'm not losing any weight, but I've stopped drinking soda, and that's making me feel better. But
hooray! Nerd Glasses unboxes Oreos.
We
can do like when you open a pack of Magic cards and we've got like, oh, a Squirtle, nice, okay, and here's another for the Squirtle pile.
Yep. We have the tools. We will do it.
We can.
All right.
We should.
So we talked about
So
the films.
that was a sweet. Now moving on.
Further sweets that you want and you just can't seem to get your hands on. Boater, chat, tell me, has this not happened to you? You drive up to your favorite fast food restaurant, the Golden of Arches, and you think, I just want a McFlurry. You drive up to the order screen. You promptly hear a yes, I'd like an M&M's McFlurry, please. Suddenly, your entire day, nay, your week, nay, even your year has been ruined by McDonald's.
A malfunctioning machine.
Yes, by McDonald's not being able to provide you with sweet, sweet confectioner treats. Picture this, Boater. The year is 1956. Ray Kroc of McDonald's Corporation supplied a handshake agreement to the company known as Taylor, who are the American manufacturer of food service equipment that make the machines that the flurries are made from.
Okay.
As of 2021, speaking of going back to that 1956 handshake, there are over 13,000 McDonald's locations that have the Taylor C602 digital ice cream machine.
Sounds fancy.
They boast a verbose milkshakes, soft serve, and sundaes.
Damn it, Dave. Before this segment, I didn't want ice cream, and now I do. I want McDonald's ice cream.
I
But
will
if I go
gladly
there, it's
pick
not
you
gonna
up
work.
some and drop it off during the Citadel.
If it's worth... Dude, I think I have cash in my wallet. I will pay you.
So, all these sweet, sweet treats ruined by a machine, the Taylor C602, that is specifically contracted and created to only be able to be maintained and worked upon
Oh, God.
by a Taylor-trained representative.
Okay. Yep. That makes sense.
The machine then spits out error codes, and not like our printer here, or the Stream Deck, or computers, or Twitch themselves, that says, hey, by the way, this disconnected, or your RAM, or your GPU, or I'm out of paper.
Is it kind of like a car OBD2 code where it's like P0342?
It's a 13-digit sequence featuring numbers and letters.
It's an error code, not a book barcode.
And it'll beep. It
which is also
beeps and tells
13
people...
digits.
Unfortunately, Taylor believes that it'll help for people to look up the error in their certified operator, to look it up in their certified guide to find out what's wrong. Well, Kitech Diagnostics made a machine to be placed on top of the Taylor machine that would send, listen to this though, it would send an email or a text to the owner of the machine saying, hey, this is the problem going on with your machine presently.
Okay.
So that they could potentially address it. Because if you don't know, restaurants have a lot of standards they have to follow, especially when cleaning things that deal with dairy.
Yeah.
There's a lot that should go into it. There's a lot that will go into it. And there's a lot of places that do waffle on it. Horror stories abound. But in a world that's right and just, people should be able to fix their own machines and do their own work, or have the option of calling upon. That's my personal belief. And I know that Boater also feels that. But
Right to repair is a thing.
so, it's kind of funny because this has been going on for years. Since that handshake agreement with McDonald's. But as of a couple weeks ago, the Federal Trade Commission is looking into McDonald's. They're looking into these machines. They're looking into what's the story, Morning Glory. They want to see, they want to be a part, they want to eat the ice cream, they want to feel the disappointment, they want to be the ones to roll up and be told at midnight when you just want an Oreo McFlurry. Sorry, machine's busted. And especially in times like we are in now, times that are extraordinarily out of ice cream, you're just out of luck, pal.
And so the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, is what exactly is the FTC's angle? So again, this was something about a month ago is when they first started looking into it, but like what's the FTC's angle on it? Is like it's just it shouldn't be broken as much, or is it like looking into whether it's unlawful or unethical how like service needs to be done?
So, for right now, the Federal Trade Commission has released that they have no accusations or anything solid to investigate. They are merely looking into some issues they have heard about.
Okay.
What
They're in the discovery phase.
Yes, they did see that Kitech did sue Taylor and McDonald's because McDonald's officially said you can't have those on your machines to help fix the Taylor machines to get the ice cream,
Huh.
making the 13-digit codes now back into spooks and goblins, and scary things that prevent people and restaurants that are wildly understaffed from being able to provide the soft serve a fat man wants after he finishes his podcast on Tuesdays. Speaking of which, in chat, favorite McFlurry flavors. But
Yep, let's hear it.
Federal Trade Commission is going to be looking into it.
M&M's?
They're going to
Colorful.
McDonald's first, and they'll follow any leads that they then come into.
There was a down tracker for all the broken machines, kind of insane. Yeah.
There is currently a down tracker.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
Maybe you
Speaking
should
of
check
which,
before you promise me.
I mean, I can drive to Queensbury. It's not a...
Yeah. Well, don't drive back up here after that. While you check that, I know we wanted to talk Spider-Man. We'll hit that in a second.
Oh, we can. You know, we can table that one. For
Yes,
next week.
actually, that's something. So we'll talk really quick about that. What's happening is that some of the writers behind Marvel heroes like Spider-Man and Thor and I think Iron Man.
Yuck!
Oh my God!
If this-
22.45% of machines are down in New York State.
10% of all McDonald's ice cream machines are currently broken. That's infuriating.
Actually, it said New York. That might be New York City because yeah, that's going. It says currently broken overall, and then in New York, in Houston, in Philadelphia. Anyway, so the writers have filed a termination of copyright notice on some of the properties that Marvel has, which basically is something that there is precedent for. It's that they were involved in it as well. Disney is suing to keep sole copyright. If the writers get their way, Disney won't completely lose the ability to do anything, but they will no longer have sole copyright over the characters. They will have to share that with the writers. If Disney wins their suit, then they get to keep all of it. There is precedent for this kind of thing. I think that the creator of Superman tried to sue DC for something like this 10 years ago.
Yes, Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster unsuccessfully sued DC Comics to get back their to reclaim their rights.
Yeah.
Because it is their right to reclaim rights once granted to publishers after a set
After a certain amount of time.
statutory
Yeah.
amount of time. That time, by the way, for Spider-Man is going to be June 2023.
Yep.
Is when that right is up.
So they more or less wanted to have the paperwork in, and Disney is like, no, we want to keep it because Disney wants to keep copyright over everything they own in perpetuity.
So
Basically, nothing made after Steamboat Willie will ever be in the public domain, which is rotten. When I was at Disney, we watched, in Magic Kingdom, there was this thing of like, the magic of Walt Disney. No, this might have been at Hollywood Studios, actually. But it's like, here's how Disney got to start, whatever. And it was through looking through public domain nursery rhymes and fairy tales and stuff, picking one and making Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And now, tales that kids grow up with today, they can't do that with unless they go back like 200 years. Thanks, Disney, for ruining the idea of public domain.
So I got a little bit more bad news for our friend Steve Ditko's estate and a couple others.
Mm-hmm.
Because the person representing Disney
Yep.
in their pursuit is Dan Petrocelli, and the person representing all these creators is Mark Toberoff.
Aren't both of them the same lawyers that were involved in the Superman case?
They were the exact same lawyers over the Superman case. The ones representing Disney were the ones that represented DC, and they won.
So here's what matters.
Soundly.
If it's the same judge, it doesn't look good. If it's a different judge, and I don't think it's a jury thing, but if it's a different judge, and again, there's different cases, and there'll be different contracts that will have been written, whatever, and it's Marvel and not DC, so there's probably different verbiage in the contracts.
Yes.
It doesn't look good, but it's not a done deal either.
What will hurt the people that are trying to defend this now, and is the fact that legal precedent was set on this topic, and so you can bring that up. Oh, in the case of DC Comics versus Estate, this was ruled because of this, and this. The other defense that they're going to bring across in reference to Disney keeping the rights is they purchased Marvel Studios, and Marvel was famous for what was called the Marvel method, where the studio would sit and have a loose collaboration, a working atmosphere of ideas and things like that, and people would spitball. Hey, I have an idea for a superhero, this and that and the other. Oh, why don't you make him red, white, and blue? Oh, that's a great idea. I'm going to take that on my character. Well, do you give them writing credit? Technically, yes, and legally could, but at the time they didn't.
Yeah.
So they're going to fight about that because Disney owns Marvel, and the Marvel method is precedent.
And because Marvel is one of the many things that makes Disney a mint, they make multiple mints a year, and Marvel gives them one of them. And yeah, they are going to protect that with all of their Disney money thrown behind it. It's one of the things where it's like, I enjoy going to Disney as a park, and I enjoy the things they make, while at the same time acknowledging that they're too big.
I mean, we're still on count of over a year ago, maybe 2 at this point. I did say when Disney acquired more of those studios and things, when are they going to get under the eyes of these other organizations and things? When
there hasn't been official investigations into them, but there's I follow Elizabeth Warren on social media because that's reasons,
yes.
And she's her social media team has made motions about Disney being too big. So people notice, but there's not enough weight behind it yet to really do much.
Disney's also very intelligent in how they design their companies and what they do. So trust busting, maybe one day we'll be doing the Ghostbusters theme to that.
Yeah, trust busting. I have 3 topics, obviously none of which I can get through. Dave, I want you to pick one, and then the other 2 will give an alternate venue where we can all kind of sit and discuss those. But first, Dave, do you want to hear something about Activision Blizzard? Do you want to hear something about Twitch? Or do you want to hear something about... No. Do you want to hear something about Activision Blizzard or something about Twitch?
You know what? I'm gonna go Acti Blizzard, since that's our our main topic. A lot of episodes these days.
The U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission yesterday filed suit against Activision Blizzard, focusing on gender-based discrimination and harassment. The investigation actually dates back to 2018, but they finally filed suit yesterday. So this investigation was going on before the current spat of lawsuits, but it was just one more piling on. 7 o'clock last night, so later the same day, Activision's like, we settled. We settled out of court. We settled out of court. For a paltry sum. They're making an $18 million fund, which is fucking nothing for Activision Blizzard. They released a press release. Here are the things. I'm going to skim. $18 million fund. Any amounts not used for claimants divided between contributions to nonprofit organizations involving advancing women in video game and tech sectors, promoting awareness around sexual harassment, etc. Money to further the cause.
Oh.
Okay. The company will upgrade policies, practices, and training to prevent and eliminate harassment. Yeah, okay, sure. Believe it when I see it.
Oh, yeah, okay. But they now have it in writing that they, in a court settlement, said it. So if they don't do it, balls in a salad shooter.
The company the company will hire an internal equal employment opportunity coordinator with relevant experience in gender discrimination, harassment, and related retaliation to assist the company and the neutral third-party EEO consultant. So we'll see to that, but they're going to hire someone that is going to work for them, which is always like, okay, how neutral are they going to be? But I glossed over a little bit at the end, though, because the one that is the most promising, the company will engage a neutral third-party equal employment opportunity consultant, a non-employee who must be approved by the U.S. EEOC, who will provide ongoing oversight to the company's compliance with the agreement. This independent consultant's findings will be reported directly to the EEOC and Activision Blizzard's board of directors. That's the only thing that it's like, yes, please, we want that.
So I here's why I love Alex saying it's such crap. Here's why that is very good. Because just like last week when I got really pissed about that composer who won a settlement, there's legal binding documents now stating that they have to do these things for equal opportunity employment. They have to get a third party selected by that government organization to do an investigation, to look into these things, to oversee this stuff. They have to, by their own admission, create company policies and have an internal board that will do these things. And did you say in-house in-house?
They're going to have a third-party consultant as well as hiring someone in-house that works with the consultant. And
Okay, so they have to create a chain about this. And the good news is the big ones are immediately going to get weeded out no matter how much red tape is put in front of this stuff.
And so the interesting thing, like the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission is not in the business of punitive damages. They're not in the business of make sure they pay for what they've done. They're in the business of don't do it again. And all of this is don't do it again type stuff.
Yes, because
and so that's an absolute win for the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. These other lawsuits are still going through. I worry a bit that they're going to be like, oh, why are you still coming to us for this? Look, we're already paying for it over here. I don't think anyone would buy that argument at this point. But, there are still plenty of other lawsuits that could potentially make them bleed through the nose. And I'm here for that. This is a good first step. And again, imagine them just like spinning plates on sticks, and then EEOC comes in, got one more for you. Settle. Jesus
exactly.
Christ.
The good to come from this is once again now there is internal documentation that states that they have to do these things. So that will be something that the employees that are inside of that company, if they feel these needs are not being met, you settled out of court for $18 million and you didn't do this, and now it gets reopened and the whole thing starts over again for Activision Blizzard.
True.
So as somebody that really does want to play Overwatch again, I really would like to stream playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I would like to drop into some Warzone and things like that. But until I know that there's not going to be employees sitting and getting the behaviors and having the actions condoned that we're having and done to them, still not happening.
Yep.
Do better. Be better.
So
you can do it. That's a step in the right direction if you follow through.
We'll see. There were a couple of other things that I didn't get to. The Advertising Standards Agency in the United Kingdom talking about in-app purchases and advertisements, as well as unverified reports about Twitch working on anti-hate raid measures. The way that we can discuss those is go to the Discord that is in the About section down below the video, and starting this week, maybe tomorrow we'll actually put them up, but we'll be putting them up as discussion topics of here's what we didn't get to and aren't necessarily planning on talking about in future weeks, in future shows, but we still want to talk about them. So that's how you can join us in conversation about stuff that doesn't make it to the show. We got to do a little bit there, but I'm hoping Wednesday, Thursday, we get that up. Got a couple topics right here that we'll be able to drop in. and just have these open discussions about some of the stuff that happened. And of course, you can always go there, and anything that we did make it to the show, you can still go into the Nerd Glasses general chat and be like, Disney better can stop it, or whatever. So, plenty of things there. Damn it, Dave, you know what's gonna have to make it to that to that discussion, or at least be pushed back to another week?
Oh, you know what? We did run out of time. Sorry, Death Stranding. We're gonna have to table you again. We'll mention it in the Discord if you guys want to talk about it next week. But we're very sorry. We'll validate your parking, Mr. Kojima. We'll have it done for you.
That is, unfortunately, it for the Nerd Glasses podcast this week. Thank you to everybody that came by. Love Alec, Demon Dragon. I love Hello Kitty. Thank you for hanging out in chat. It was a wonderful time as always, and I already can't wait for next week. If you want to hang around a little bit longer, I will be on the Citadel afterwards playing Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition.
nice.
Of course, you know we hit outro video for reals this time. We hit it for real. And we go offline. 5 minutes for us to push everything over and get everything set up, maybe 10. And then 10-minute countdown, and I see you guys on the other side of that right around 8:30 as we play to finish out the night here at Insane Games TV. So hope to see you folks stick around for that. Did you have anything else to add?
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We look forward to more topics, to more fun, and Oreos next week on the stream. Gotta catch 'em all.
Thank you from everyone here at Nerd Glasses and everyone here at Insane Games TV. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. Bye, everybody. For real this time.